Hi!
Hi.
Sorry, I didn't realize that you didn't
That's
know
okay.
that it was the same link each time. Apologies.
That's okay.
How's your voice feeling today?
Good. Better.
Oh, excellent.
hmm
And how are you feeling about rehearsals? How are they going?
They're going really good. I had my
Excellent.
first tech run through yesterday. It was really good.
Yay! Oh,
hmm
wonderful. So at this point, what would you say would be the things that you're feeling like, I feel like we could polish up these things, or I feel like this could be improved a little bit? We don't want to try to overhaul anything, but just things that are those refining, polishing touches leading up to the performance.
I think everything's pretty much good. It's just like the last note
Excellent.
of on the steps.
Yeah, just making sure that the end is powerful, a big
hmm
moment, leaving them with a strong impact. Love it. Yeah,
hmm
awesome. So, have you sung today? Do you feel pretty warmed up, or should we do a little bit of singing to get you going?
Do a little bit of singing.
Okay,
Yeah,
awesome. Let's
that's
do
good.
it. Let's get that voice going. All right, so nice and tall for me, a nice tall posture, broad, expansive, and long and tall. We're going to focus on breathing nice and low in your core, so expanding in that rib cage. Try to expand nice and low in your belly space as well. Focused energy up and out, and expanding around in the back space as well, so that whole torso. Focused energy up and out. Awesome. Good. All right, let's just release on a nice little hum sigh. Feel the vibration. So we're going to do a
Mm.
Lovely. And now let's do on a sigh and open ah. Ah.
Ah.
Lovely. All right, let's even go a little bit lower. Let's try that again. Ah.
Ah.
Beautiful. Excellent. Okay. Lovely. All right, so let's try just to kind of get the voice moving a little bit more. Let's try on a nice slide. Let's do this on. Let's go through E through A through A, back through A to E. So E at the bottom, A is a little more open, A at the top, back through A to E, and it's sliding through. So it'll be E, A, E. All right, breathing in. E, A, E. Breathing in. E, A, E. Lovely. Okay, let's go ahead and sigh down. Ah.
Oh, that was deeper.
That's okay. That's all right. All right. So let's try now on a scale. We're going to start a little bit lower. Let's do this on Scooby Doo. So we're going to go Scooby Dooby 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 Doo. So 5-note scale on Scooby Doo. Breathing in. Scooby Dooby 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 Doo. Breathe. Scooby Dooby 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 Doo. Breathe. Scooby Dooby 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 Doo. Breathe. Scooby Dooby 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 Doo. 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 One more. Scooby Dooby 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 Doo. Beautiful. Okay. And then let's sigh back down. Good. Yeah, just nice and gentle. All right. So then let's do on an arpeggio now. Let's go on. We're going to say pui, 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 pui. We're going to go lower and then we'll go up higher as well. 1, 2, ready, and pui, pui, pui. 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 All right, great. Let's go ahead and sigh back down. Awesome. Good. Okay. So let's go ahead and I'm going to have you try singing through the song. Show me where it's at and we'll go from there. Okay.
Do you want me to play the background music?
Yeah. Let's try it just like it's going to be in the show.
Got it. Oops. He's a very smart prince. He's a prince who prepares, knowing this time I'd run from him. He spread pitch on the stairs, caught him unawares, and I thought, well, he cares. This is more than just malice. Better stop and take stock while you're standing here stuck on the steps of the palace. Better run your head, avoid the collision. Even though they don't care, you'll be better off there where there's nothing to choose, so there's nothing to lose. So you fry up your shoes. Not if the blue. The dying may die. You know what your decision is. Just not to decide. You'll just leave him a clue. For example, a shoe. And then see what he'll do. Now it's he and not you who is stuck with the shoe and a stew in the dew. And you've learned something too, something you never knew on the steps of the palace.
Okay, awesome. It's sounding really good. What was your favorite thing about that run through? The thing you liked best about it?
I think I got the beginning down pretty well.
I agree. A really strong entrance. Love that. And also, as we're approaching our performance too, focusing on those performance aspects, right, is going to be really
Mhm.
important. I think that the diction is really nice. I'm hearing every word, which I love. So I'm hearing the story being told. Excellent. So I'm curious how you were feeling about the higher notes and that final moment of the song.
Um, Yesterday I was like asking like some people how did On the Steps go, and both the people I said like they went like the last note was a little iffy, but the rest was really good. I was like, oh,
Okay, well, so for right now, how did you feel that this went? Did you feel that it was a little more solid?
yeah. Yesterday though I like belted it a little bit more than I
Oh,
just
okay.
did, so I guess that was like the difference.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah. So maybe you kind of were carrying some weight up, over pressurizing.
Yeah.
Um, and then keep in mind too that as you're coming out, your voice is kind of in that, it's sounding a lot better. But it still is, we're just being mindful of coming out of it not feeling amazing. And so
Yeah.
when we're in that kind of recovery mindset, we don't want to push too much, right?
Hmm.
So I would say for where this note is and with the style of the song, I don't see this as being a character that has to be super big, overpressurized, belty.
Hmm.
I think this is one that you can mix more. So I thought what you just did was more mixy, and I thought it sounded really quite strong. Are you wanting it to have a little bit more of a belty feeling right there? Um, is it what is it about that note that yesterday made you feel like you should belt it more? Were you satisfied with mixing it more? What do you think?
I liked how I just did it. And
Yeah.
if that's how like the character like I
Hmm.
I guess that would be her like personality, but
Right. When I think of, a princess character, I do think, she's a strong character, but she also is a princess. So it's
Mhm.
going to be a little more of a pretty sound. So I think of this as being the perfect character to have that be a little bit more of that mixy space. Um, and so very balanced, very, trusting both muscles to be supporting that note. So I think you can lean a little more into that more heady mix there, because she's a princess. So
Yeah.
it should be very pretty sounding. And so I thought what you just did, I was like, oh, that sounded really nice. So what I would say is at this point, I would love to hear us focus a little bit more on some of these performance aspects and more of the expression, because what you just did with the final note, I was like, oh, that was great. So as long as it feels really solid to you, then let's keep doing that. Um, so what I would love to do is let's talk a little bit about the character, about what's happening in this moment, who you are, and how we want to express it. So tell me for this character, what has happened just before this moment?
Um, she's been like the baker's wife has been trying to steal her shoe for the past like 30 minutes. Uh,
Yes.
she's been like running back and forth between like she's been running away from the prince multiple times.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah,
and she
so
like off.
just before this, she was trying to get away from the baker's wife and keep her shoe.
Yeah,
She's
and then
like, "What's
like
wrong with you? Get away from me."
yeah.
Right? And then in this moment, so in this moment, she's gotten away. She has
Hmm.
her shoes. And so is this the first time she's able to really process what had gone down with the prince?
Mm, yeah, pretty
Yeah,
much.
it's like, this happened, but she hasn't had a moment to really stop and think through it, right? So
Yeah.
now she has that opportunity to process everything, right? Um, Now I know that you might be like, well, she's not with anyone, she's not talking to anybody. But I find that it'll be a lot more active, and engaging if we do it like we're telling somebody.
Yeah.
So if you say like, oh, there's a little bird that I've decided is my friend, and I'm going to tell the bird all about the prince, or you like, her grandma passed away, but she still likes to imagine her spirit there, watching over her like a guardian angel. So she's telling her grandma all about him, you
Hmm.
know. So thinking of somebody that you could be talking to share about this, and somebody that you're like, I would trust this person. I would want to tell them about this. And sometimes it can be helpful to visualize someone that's important to you that you go, if
Hmm.
something like this happened to me, I would want to tell this person about it. So having someone that you're actually telling this to can keep it a little more exciting and active. And if you were going to share about the prince with somebody, why do you think you would do that? Are you trying to get answers? Are you looking for advice? Are you wanting to be congratulated? Are you wanting someone to be like, "Yeah, go for it, girl. Like this sounds great for you." Like what are you after in that moment? Are you like, "I want to be with the prince," or are you like, "I am scared of the prince and I want you to tell me like yeah, like you probably shouldn't be with that guy. Like what do you want? What do you think she wants ultimately?
I think at the beginning she's like iffy, but by the end of the song she's like, okay, if he still comes after me after I leave the shoe, then I'll stay with him. So like
Yeah,
iffy
yeah,
at the
I think
beginning,
so
but
too.
like
Like
let's do this at the end.
I think she's a little scared, but
Yeah.
she really does want to be wooed by a prince.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm nervous, I'm scared, but at the same time this is really exciting and I think he really likes me and this could end up being really great for me. Like, so maybe I should go for it?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I think it's like one of those situations where she's like nervous and a little
Mhm.
like scared about it, but at the same time, she really does want to go for it. So I look at this as like she wants, whoever she's telling to be like, yeah, girl, go get him.
Yeah.
So yeah, so we need to see that journey. So how is she feeling in that very first moment of the song? What would you say is like her emotion in that moment?
Um, she's like, okay, he's impressive. Like he did this
Okay.
for
All
me.
right. So you're
Yeah.
impressed in that
Yeah.
moment. And then how do you think she feels at the end of the song?
Um, at the end she's like she wants it to happen, but she's leaving it up to him. If that's like I don't know how like to say that is an emotion.
Yeah, yeah. Um, especially with like the way the music ends, I think she's pretty excited in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
mean, he's been pretty intentional, so I think she's pretty sure he's gonna try again.
Yeah.
So I think she's pretty excited in that moment, because she has this big high note and it's like it kind of escalates in that moment. So I think the music kind of shows us she's excited in that moment. She's like, oh, this is gonna be fun. Like I'm gonna leave him a shoe
Yeah.
and he's gonna come after me and it's gonna be really fun. So yay, I like being chased, right?
Yeah.
Um, so yeah. And then how do you think she gets from that like being kind of impressed to that feeling of excitement about this whole process? Where does she journey through in the middle? How do you think she feels more in the middle?
Mm, she's like, okay, I have an idea.
Okay, yes. She's like,
Yeah.
aha.
Yeah.
She's like, ooh, good idea. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
exactly. Okay. So at the beginning, she's kind of like, I'm impressed. And then she's like, aha, idea. And then
Mm-hmm.
at the end, she's like, I'm so excited. This is going to be really fun. Yeah. So I need to see that journey
Okay.
through the song where it doesn't feel like it's all kind of the same, but where she goes to these different places. That's going to keep it really active and exciting for your audience. Okay. So let's see that journey that she goes through, she doesn't know where she's going to end up at the beginning, right? At the beginning, she doesn't know that she's going to be like, I'm leaving him a shoe. This is going to be fun you know? So we need to see her progression through the
Mm-hmm.
song. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
This is all a new discovery to her.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it went away. Hold on.
Oh,
He's a very smart prince. He's a prince who prepares, knowing this time I'd run from him. He spread pitch on the stairs. I was caught unawares, and I thought, well, who cares? This is more than just malice. Stop and take stock while you're standing here stuck on the steps of the palace. Better run home and avoid the collision. Even though they don't care, you'll be better off there where there's nothing to choose, so there's nothing to lose. So pry up your shoes, right at the blue. And without any guide, no matter what your decision is, do not decide, or just leave him a clue. For example, a shoe, and then see what he'll do. Now it's he and not you who is stuck with the shoe in a stew in the goo, and you learn something too, something you never knew on the steps of the palace.
Nice. Okay, good. So I definitely thought that there was more of a journey there. Lovely. That final note, I would like it to have a little bit more of a bright quality. So not necessarily more pressurization from the vocal folds pressing together more firmly. Instead, I'm thinking more about the shape. Um, so that to me went a little more heady,
Yeah.
and a little more warm tone. And I just want a little more brightness there.
Okay.
So it's going to be more the mouth shape. So we want to think about this back part of the mouth is going to narrow a bit, but we're going to think kind of a megaphone shape. So we're going to think about opening more in the front. So
Mhm.
that jaw is going to open more. And keep that smiley face. She's excited, right? Palace. Yeah. And that tongue, I want it to come forward. So I want you to try for me, go, ah, and just on an ah with your tongue out. Ah.
Wait.
Yeah. So if we keep our tongue more forward, it's going to be a brighter sound. So think about keeping a little wider, smiley shape, a little lift in the cheeks, kind of tight back
Mhm.
nose, that tongue more forward. And it's more of this megaphone shape. So a little more closed in the back, open in the front. What you just did was a little more like palace, where it was a little more open back here and a little more closed in the front. So we're flip-flopping that, where we're going to be more megaphone shape. So on the steps of the palace. And I'm purposely going to brighten it by bringing that tongue forward and opening more of the jaw in the front. So can we try that moment again, just a cappella?
Mhm. Mhm. On the steps of the palace.
Yes, yeah. So it's still mixy. The vocal
Yeah.
folds are being nice and balanced in here. We're not over pressurizing, so we don't get that like really over pressurized, belty, like too chesty feeling.
Yeah.
But we get that brightness to the sound, which is that more musical theater Broadway kind of sound.
Mhm.
So it's reshaping the mouth. Yeah, it's going to give us that brightness. Beautiful.
Okay.
Awesome. So lovely. So then
Yeah.
let's try thinking a bit more about with the emotional arc, thinking about things like the phrase shapes and things like the louds and softs. So, based on what's happening in the song, where do you think it would be a little bit softer? Where do you think it's going to be a little bit louder?
Um. Oh, that's a good question. At the end is definitely going to be louder.
Yes, yes. And that can be, both volume wise, but also it can be your body can be more big and expressive in that moment too. So at the beginning, she's just first starting to kind of think through things, right? So I would think there would be a little bit softer,
Mhm.
um, because it's a little more like she's just starting to reflect on all of this. He's a very smart prince. It's a little more speech like. And so I would think a little bit softer, but make sure that you keep the good diction so we can still
Mhm.
hear all the words. But yeah, I think that the song kind of it starts a little bit softer and then it kind of builds and builds and builds and builds. So it has this kind of like slowly growing intensity throughout the song, right? Um,
Mhm.
So I think it mostly just kind of builds and builds and builds and builds as it goes. Like she just keeps getting more and more excited as the song goes on. Yeah. So I think you could start a little bit softer and have it build and build and build and build to that exciting end. And that can be, you know, your expression, your gestures, your face, the volume, all of these different things. You can get more emphatic as the song goes on. So it's going to build an intensity with all of those things. Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, I would love to have us try it again. And I want you to really think about like how she would carry herself, what gestures she's going to do, what facial expressions she would have. So really think about performing it more.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay,
Let's try.
start. He's a very smart prince. He's a prince who prepares, knowing this time I'd run from him. He spread pitch on the stairs. I was caught unawares, and I thought, well, he cares. This is more than just malice. Better stop and take stock while you're standing here stuck on the steps of the palace. Better put on time and avoid the collision. Even though they don't care, you'll be better off there where there's nothing to choose, so there's nothing to lose. So you pry up your shoes, out of the blue, without any guide. You know what your decision is, which is not to decide. Or just leave him a clue. For example, a shoe, and then see what he'll do. Now it's he and not you who is stuck with the shoe in a stew, in the goo. And you've learned something too, something you never knew. On the steps of the palace.
Okay, awesome. So how did that time through feel to you?
Better. I think the last one was a lot
Yes.
better. Mhm.
Yeah, I thought so too. Yes. Yeah, it's really nice when it all just kind of
Mhm.
clicks and it's like, oh, there it is, and it all works
Yeah.
together beautifully. Awesome. So, kind of reflecting back on what we just did, what were the things that you would want to remember from that take that you're like, okay, I want to lock this away in my brain so I recall that and I can remember that and do that again?
Like the mouth shape and like the what I
Mhm.
need to do for the last note.
Yeah, yeah,
And how it gets like
beautiful.
more and more intense throughout the song, I guess.
Building and building in that excitement and intensity.
I
Exactly.
think
Yes.
I think the run along home part, she would be a little like louder than like, but yeah. and
Yeah.
and the next part, but
Okay, yeah. So there can be nuance,
yeah.
right? So I love that you're thinking now in terms of each line too and going, I think in this moment you hear a change in the music, right? You hear that the music shifts and you're like, I think that she would get a little bit louder right there.
Hmm.
So, and then maybe it comes back down and then it builds again. So I love that you're thinking about those little nuances that happen throughout as well. Um, yeah, I think every time you take a breath, the character has a new thought, and it's like, and now this, and now that, and now this, right? So every
Hmm.
time you take a breath, it's like she's making some kind of a new discovery for herself. She doesn't have a plan, she doesn't know where the song is going. And so she's discovering it all along the way. For the audience, it needs to feel like this is all just coming to life in this moment, right? They know you've rehearsed it, but we want to take them into that world, right? So it needs to
Yeah.
feel to them like this is all the first time this has ever happened. And so that they get sucked in and they feel like they're part of that. Yeah.
Hmm.
So it has to feel to them like all of this is spontaneous. So yeah, I love that. Yeah, that it's like I think it would build an intensity there and then like it would kind of come down again and then build ramp back up.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Lovely.
Yeah.
So then you're going to have rehearsal now after this, right?
I won't be performing, my understudy will, but
Oh, okay.
yeah, I will
Your
tomorrow.
understudy. Okay, perfect.
And then
Great.
Friday
Well,
is
that's
open.
perfect. Yeah. So we got to work on it today, and you'll get to
Hmm.
rest your voice tonight, and then you'll get to perform it again tomorrow.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. Beautiful. So you can kind of like, as they're practicing, you can just kind of in your head be kind of visualizing along with them what you want to do when you're doing it, and just kind of like in your mind's eye, be visualizing yourself going through it, everything that you want to do with it. So yeah, I think that's perfect. That's great.
Hmm.
Yeah, and it's nice too because then you get a little breather, right? Because
Yeah.
tech week can be kind of intense. So I love that you get a day to be like, it's a little easier.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
perfect. Awesome.
Hmm.
Okay, so very exciting.
I'm
Well,
excited.
break a leg.
Thank
Have
you.
a fabulous fun time. Just listen to your voice, listen to your
Hmm.
body, work with it, not against it. It's your
Yeah.
partner. And, be hydrating. If it feels like it's getting tired, be sure to rest it in the day more.
Hmm.
And just do all the good vocal hygiene things. If you have a humidifier, you could sleep with that on next to you in bed at night. So that it like keeps the air nice and moist for you, so that you wake up and your throat's all hydrated still.
Yeah.
So just those things to be conscientious and take care of your instrument. But yeah, have a fantastic time.
Yeah. Thank you. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Your grandma told me that she's coming to see you. So that's
Yeah.
fun. That's really
Yeah.
exciting too. She was very excited. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So just have a blast. I think it's always
Hmm.
great when you have people who love you in the audience. I always feel like I do better when I know that people who care about me are there.
Hmm.
Like I'm like, oh, my mom is here, my
Yeah.
grandma or whoever. It's just really nice to have that support and people who love you and believe in you. So have a fantastic time. I can't wait
Thank
to hear
you.
how it goes.
Thank you.
All right. Well, break a leg. Have a wonderful evening. And I hope rehearsal tomorrow goes really well. And just remember at this point, you've done the work. So, it's
Hmm.
going to show. Just trust that the work will show and have a blast.
Yep. Okay. Thank you.
Because if you have fun, the audience will have fun too. So
Yeah.
that's my rule of thumb is at that point, it's like, we're here. So I can't do anything more at this point,
Yeah.
So the work you've done will show. Just remember to have fun. The audience will have fun too. That's what it's all about, is just having a fun, entertaining, enjoyable evening. So
Yeah.
just enjoy it because it's just really fun to get up there and perform for everybody and show them all the good stuff you and your friends have been working on. So,
Hmm.
yeah. Well, awesome work today. You sound
Thank you.
great.
Thank
So,
you.
honestly, if you did any of those takes at the performance, I'd be happy. We do little tweaks to make it even sparklier, but
Yeah.
I think it's on a great track. You're doing great. So,
Thank you.
keep up the good work and let me know how
Yep.
it goes, okay?
Okay.
All right, bye Kincie. Have a good night.
Bye.